Welcome back, college baseball fans. I'm joined by Miami Hurricane slugger Daniel Cuvet. Cuvet, thank you so much for taking the time to join me.
Thank you for having me. Nice to meet you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been meaning to meet you, but so far haven't had the luck over the last 2 years, but been following you very closely. And obviously, you've had an incredible first 2 years at Miami. Let's just jump right into some of the nitty gritty. Let's talk a little bit about your freshman year and finding success right away. What was that kind of like, and making it kind of look easy, even though it's not, to make that adjustment to college baseball?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is, when maybe the draft doesn't work out in high school, like you kind of have that pressure, not that pressure, but you kind of have that want to like prove yourself. You kind of have like that little chip on your shoulder that makes you want to get better and show that you're a good baseball player, and show that, maybe people missed out on you and out of high school, because it kind of puts that fire under you that pushes you to be better. And I think that fire and that work that came from that fire just allowed me to be successful from just the work that I was putting in going into the season.
Love that. I mean, you're from that area. Was it always a dream to come play at Miami?
Yeah, Miami is the dream, like there's not really a place or a college like it. I mean, you can have like maybe those big crowds and those big schools, but from day to day life and just a beautiful campus and the great people here, like I don't think there's another school like it. And I'm so glad that I came here and my family gets to come to the games, and I'm so thankful for that.
That's awesome. So you had you played a lot as a freshman. Obviously, started basically every game. You guys didn't have great success during the season, but you made a big run in the ACC tournament. Got within 2 wins of stealing a bid. Basically, can you talk a little bit about that ACC tournament run and what that was probably about the highlight of y'all's season, right? Kind of making that run and having a shot at the tournament to backdoor it.
Yeah, obviously the season wasn't good for us, but we were in the AC tournament, and that was our last chance for a lot of those older guys and seniors to keep playing baseball. So I think when you get to the end of the season, you always feel it for the guys who it's their last year, or they might not ever play baseball again. It might be their last game. So you always kind of feel it at the end of the season for those older guys and those guys who it might be their last game. So I think that's super important, and you feel that energy, and you don't want to see those guys play their last game. You don't want that season to end. You don't want that group of guys to be their last game. So I think that really gets guys going at the end of the season when you feel that.
Absolutely. And did that experience help a little bit in, with postseason play? I mean, it gave you a little bit, you guys were basically playing elimination games in the ACC tournament because you knew your season would end. Did that help some of the experience with, playing in the actual NCAA tournament in Tuscaloosa and Louisville?
I mean, yeah, it helped. I mean, I guess it was similar for us. It was elimination. So even though like some teams in the ACC tournament, they were still going on to play regionals or whatever they were going on to next. But for us, that was it for us. That was our playoffs. We had to win. So those elimination games, like that was do or die for us, and they kind of gave that same sense of feeling as being an elimination game and a regional.
Absolutely. I don't want to suggest that you had a slow start last season, but your power numbers, you were hitting really well, but you weren't necessarily generating the normal power numbers. And then all of a sudden you went on a tear and finished the second half of the season with, everything. Was there a mid-season adjustment, or was it just a matter of getting hot?
Mid-season adjustment. Getting hot is usually part of adjusting and, making small changes and mentally and physically, from the swing to maybe preparation before the game, or just different kind of ways around it, and just finding what's going to get you back to what you do good. And I was able to get myself back, and I was able to get some physical adjustments, and especially having the team around us last year. I mean, we were a super close group, and those guys always had my back. So when you're struggling and your teammates have your back and they want to see you succeed, that always helps and takes some weight off your shoulders to perform for them.
Is it feel a little bit strange to feel like you're struggling when you were hitting so hot? Like you were still hitting like well over 300. You just weren't getting the extra base hits that you would normally get. Is it kind of, did you take a step back and feel kind of weird, in a way that you're like, I am kind of struggling, but like the numbers, some of the shallower numbers don't necessarily show that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird feeling. It's just like an expectation, and you just kind of know yourself. Like I kind of knew myself that wasn't my best form um, during the season. I knew that wasn't my best form of myself, and that wasn't like my job is to produce power and drive and run. So I obviously wasn't doing that. So knowing that, I mean, I still knew I had work to do and I had to get better to help the team and just be myself and get back to what I do good. So I guess like the whole process of, even though, yeah, I'm still hitting good and I'm still getting guys in and I'm still kind of doing my job, but I'm not doing it the best way I can, and I'm not doing it to the expectation that I should be.
Yeah, it was really awesome because right when you kind of got hot for making that adjustment and the pitching came together on the other side with with the two freshmen coming in and Jordan Hughes, and then you guys go on a run, but then you get to Virginia and you run into some trouble there. You end up losing the next weekend at Notre Dame. You lose in the first game of the ACC tournament to apparently the best college baseball team ever in 6 a.m. Cal. But you know, how were you guys able to rein it back in and then turn it back on, when you guys are spiraling a little bit there at the end of the season, and then you get in and then it's like it never happened. You guys just wiped the slate clean and won the Tuscaloosa regional.
Yeah, I mean, JD kind of preached to us that all year, that, every day is a new day, and win or loss, the next game is the most important one, and that you can't really hold on to the wins or the losses too hard, because the next day you have a game, and that might be the game that you need to win. So holding on to it doesn't always help. And I think, like I said, just the mindset of, like, we had a lot of older guys last year, so then that's going to be their last time playing baseball. So always when you have that feeling, and we had a super close group, and no one wanted that season to end, and we were just happy that we got a chance in the regional, and that, I think that was it for us. Like, seeing our name called and being able to go play a regional over there. I mean, that was it for us. That fired us up, and like, we knew that was our opportunity to go and get it.
Obviously, you guys fall one win short of Omaha, but talk to me about the experience of winning the regional and realizing you're just 2 wins from Omaha, getting to dogpile. How special was that?
Yeah, I mean, that was awesome. That was my first time in playoff environment. That's probably the biggest game I've probably played in. Like, those are probably some of the bigger games I've played in. So that was super cool for me and for the group, because we had such a close group, and everyone enjoys that together. Like, from the whole season, we had a terrible streak, a really good streak, and it's like you don't know where things are going halfway through the season. When you're losing, you don't know where things are going to go. When you're winning, you feel on top of the world, and then you get kicked at 6 a.m. against Cal, and then you're like, oh, is our season over? And then you get that chance to dogpile, and it kind of all comes together. And, the coaches being positive and, having our backs and just preparing us for those games and those moments. And then we get to win and celebrate with a dogpile.
Yeah, that's what's interesting. You just brought up a good point. When you guys lost to Cal, you had ended up you guys looked like you were safely in, but then by the time you lost to Cal, you were kind of on the bubble, and people were starting to get a little nervous. Because of what you guys did after that. People forget that you guys were on the bubble, but that's a good point there. That you weren't even sure that you might get a chance to play in the tournament, especially with everyone stealing some bids.
Yeah, we weren't sure, and we had to wait around that week and get at bats and stay ready and just hope that we were going to get called and get that chance.
Absolutely. Before we talk a little bit more about Miami, I want to talk about some of your summer experiences, because you've had over the last few years, you've gotten to go to the Cape both times. You've gotten to go to Team USA training camp both times. Let's first start with talk about the Cape. You were awesome. I loved watching you for Brewster. Your first year. I didn't get to watch you as much last year because you had a little bit of a shorter stint. But talk to me about what the Cape Cod League is like, and how much did it benefit you a lot. Even though you'd already played such a long season, you played a very long season last year as well, because you came back to the Cape after Team USA, right?
Yeah, not last year. My first year.
Freshman year. Sorry, freshman to sophomore year.
Yeah. The Cape is awesome. I was lucky to be part of a first-class organization, the Whitecaps. I mean, they took care of me and they treated me well, so I'm thankful for them, and they made that experience so much better. And the summer ball is great. It's a grind your way. It's a little different. It's almost kind of like you're on an island playing baseball with a bunch of guys that you were just playing against in the regular season, or even guys you get to meet new guys. You get to be around a bunch of guys from even rival schools, so it's pretty cool that you get that experience to be around a lot of talent and a bunch of good baseball players. And I mean, it helped me a ton. The struggles, there's a lot of the Cape is hard. It's hard for hitters. It's hard for pitchers. Like, there's nothing easy about it, from the fields to the grind. It's long days. It's not as pretty as like being in an ACC program or SEC program, or even probably any college program, just from the school buses that travel and stuff. So all of that is a grind, but honestly, it's what makes it fun. It's what makes it a great experience, and having a good organization and a good host family really helps with that. And I really enjoyed being over there.
Yeah, it looks like it's a lot of fun. I mean, you have to really love baseball to play all season as a freshman, play a little bit of the Cape, go to the Team USA, come back to the Cape, and I mean, just a ton of baseball. And you may have struggled a little bit, but it didn't seem like you did in the Cape. You had a lot of good numbers there. Now, Team USA, you get to go do that, and it's more of these cream of the crop guys, and especially the ACC, because your freshman class in the ACC was unbelievable. What's that like going and playing with all those guys, getting an opportunity to face the best of the best in your class, and then this year, I guess both freshman and sophomore classes.
Yeah, I mean it's super cool always going over there too. They take good care of us, and it's always a great experience. Um, their first class as well, and it's always cool to be around the talent and the other guys who are just as good or better than you are. And usually, like I've known a lot of these guys since travel ball days, 14U, 15U. So we've been going at it for a while, and it's pretty cool that we all come together now, and we all get to play with each other, against each other, and we get to experience and learn from each other. And we talk about baseball like pretty much the whole time we're there, and we all ask a bunch of questions. And I feel like everyone kind of learns from each other when we get together, like all those talented players. So that's why I think it's a really cool experience. I learned a ton from the other guys who are just as talented.
Yeah, I love actually hearing that because I do hear a lot of guys learning things at Team USA camp from other players. Is there anyone from a rival school that you were particularly close with at Team USA? It sounds like you were close to a couple of guys. I'm trying to remember. I interviewed somebody last year, and I remember them saying they got. I don't know if it was Henry Ford or somebody like that that was pretty close with you.
Yeah, me and Henry talk quite often. Even now, he's at Tennessee, and we already been talking. We already talked a couple of times throughout the fall about swings and hitting and see how things are going. And we talk. We always talk a ton when we're around each other. We just talk about. It seems like we're always just talking about hitting and approach
Yeah.
and how to get better and how to hit the ball better. So that's a guy I enjoy being around. And him and Becker, I was around my first year over there,
Yeah.
and we kind of got close. And then we still like talk and we still catch up and we still talk about hitting all the time.
Love that. I'm really excited to see what Henry does at Tennessee. I think he's fixed his swing, and it feels like that's going to be a smaller ballpark, and I think he's just going to go off. So that's pretty cool that you guys still talk and everything. But moving back, let's talk about this team. First, you get some big names back. JD Ogden's back. Sorry, Jake Ogden. There's too many Ogdens that I got to keep track of. Max Galvin's back. Derek Williams comes back. How important was it to get most of those guys back?
Yeah, I mean it's huge. You never know what's going to happen in the draft. It's so unpredictable, and seeing that those guys are able to come back. I mean, we weren't really sure about any of them if we were going to be able to get them back, but all of them can really play. Ogden's all around great. Dewell and Max, they play a good outfield, and we both know that they can really hit. Derek Williams was obviously really hot last year, and then he had the hamate injury, so and he looks great in the fall. He looks super comfortable, and so does Max. And Derek now, like kind of looks like second year around, and he's comfortable and he's helped leading the team, so he's doing a great job with that. And I'm really excited because all these guys can obviously really hit, and it's going to be their second year, so I can only see it getting better.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect Ogden to be back. Obviously, we would have wished him to be drafted and get to move on his pro career, but from a content point and like being a fan of ACC baseball, I'm excited he's back. But you do lose the likes of Griffin Hughes on the mound and Dorian Gonzalez, who is really important, and Tanner Smith behind the mound. How do you mitigate those kind of guys losing? Obviously, you bring in a lot of experience either way. So, are you guys figuring out ways to kind of replace that kind of leadership and personality?
Yeah, I mean, we have a bunch of new guys. We have a couple of strong transfers, and we have, well, honestly, all of them are strong. And we have some great freshmen, some very talented freshmen who came in, and we're lucky to have those guys. But honestly, this team has been different than last year's, but it's been coming together on its own in a different way. And I really like the way this team's coming together. And, we still got to get through the fall, which is, I think, the most important part of the season, seeing how the team gels and seeing how guys come together on those long days and seeing who can really play baseball, even when you have those 6-hour days and those long scrimmages in the sun. So I'm really excited for this team, and I think that we got a lot of really good pieces to put together, and I think we're as talented as we've been in my 3 years here.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to see what you guys have. It kills me that I'm so far away, so I can't come see scrimmages. But, talk to me about playing for JD. I'm a big fan of his, and it was great to see you guys have that success last year? Because I know there's a lot of external pressure that maybe is a little bit undeserved, but it's great to see him succeed and get a little bit of space to make his impact on the program as a head coach.
Yeah, JD is awesome all the way around. He leads us, he tells us, he shows us the right way to do things, and he teaches us not only baseball but even off the field, and he makes sure that we become better people than who we are, and he pushes us to be better every day, and we're all thankful for him for that. And he shows us every day how to be a better person and how to be a better baseball player, and he's constantly there, and it feels like he's almost like a father figure, like he's always looking out for the best of us, and we're thankful for that.
How are you guys going to get him to bleach his hair again this year? I
really don't see him doing that after we lost after he did that.
Yeah, that was I was planning to write something and ask that question at Virginia, and then I was like, I'm definitely not talking after a loss like that. Yeah, that is a good point that you guys lost all three, so that might be.
I hope he don't. Yeah, I hope he doesn't bleach it again.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. You bring in a new coach, former MLB star Jared Sosolavakia. He was coaching on the Cape. What does he bring to the table, and what's it like kind of having that kind of MLB experience right there?
Yeah, it's awesome. There's always a level of respect when you have a catcher who played for so many teams and played for so long in the big leagues. He's been around so much baseball and so many organizations. That guy has a ton of knowledge. So right away, there's that respect, and you just kind of listen when he talks, and you're always curious to hear what he has to say about the drill we're doing or the approach or just anything. You're always curious to hear what he has to say, and he's been awesome. He's been working with our catchers, and he's been doing a great job there, and we're super happy to have him. And I'm super excited to learn from him throughout the season and hear his knowledge and see what his experience has for me.
Love that. All right, we're talking about the some of the new faces. Obviously, it's not quite as bad as last year, but you still have a ton of new faces. Yeah. Obviously, I imagine everyone's playing really well, but is there anybody that's really standing out? I mean, Alex Sosa comes in from NC State, Vance Sheehan from USC Upstate. Those are two guys I'm really excited about. Is there anybody that's really stood out for you?
Both of those names are obviously talented players. We see it every day on the field. Sosa's been doing his thing, swinging the bat, and Sheehan has been playing great defensively, and he's been hitting the ball hard consistently in scrimmages. We've only played like 3 scrimmages so far, so it's hard to really boost someone or say something. But all around, even all the other transfers have been great, and the pitching is coming along. And Rylan West at first base, he's swinging the bat well, and he's playing a good first base over there. So we're super excited for all the transfers and everyone that we have. We got a lot of talent that transferred in, and I think we're going to have a lot of big pieces and a lot of power in that lineup.
Did you know Alex? I mean, I know you played with him over the summer, but did you know him growing up? Because he's from down there. So were you guys close?
Yeah, I always knew Sosa. We were kind of like mutuals, but now it's pretty cool that we're on the same team. I played with him in the summer in the Cape, and I played with him in USA my first year. He came from caught a game. Yeah. I think he was there for a few games, and I've always played against Sosa growing up, so I've known him and his family for a while.
That's pretty cool. He's got some monster power, so I'm excited to see how he does in y'all's lineup. You talked about some of those freshmen, big time freshman class. You see any of them getting significant roles similar to last year, or I know that's obviously up to the coaching staff, but you guys, doesn't seem like JD's afraid to play freshmen.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Some of them have been doing excellent so far in scrimmages and just doing everything the right way that they can do. So that won't be decided by me, but I think that we have a lot of talented freshmen, and the most talented freshman class that I've seen since being here, and I'm super excited for them and how they can help this team. And we just got a lot of guys who can really play ball, and like I said, you never know what's going to happen in the season. You never know how things go. So I think that these guys being ready to go is going to be a huge factor. And it's always important to have depth, especially in such a long season. You never know when you need a pinch hit or someone gets hurt or you need to come in and you get a spot start and you can go from there. So I'm super excited for these freshmen. And I think as long as they keep getting better and staying ready, that they can play a huge role in this team.
Love that. What excites you the most about Miami baseball, it's heading deeper into the fall?
Yeah, the offense. I've since being in college baseball, this is as good as an offense as I've seen. So I think it's important that we do our thing offensively, but as well we have to play a quality defense and pitch well and throw the ball well and field the ball well and just do the other things right as well, base running, all the other details of the game. But I'm most excited for this lineup. I haven't really seen a lineup like this. Like, there's just a ton of power, and guys aren't striking out, and guys are just hitting the ball hard consistently in scrimmages, and it just shows that our lineup is pretty good.
Love that. I mean, you're obviously working on everything personally, as a player during the fall. Is there anything in particular though that you've made kind of a focus on in the fall to really improve?
Yeah, I gotta keep improving offensively. Swing decision, swinging at the right pitches, getting good counts, and then the rest will take care of itself. And as well as defensively, getting better, moving better, making less mistakes, just being clean with the baseball and making the routine and the fundamentals and doing the fundamentals right and helping the team win on both sides of the ball, not just hitting.
Awesome. Let's jump into some kind of fun stuff. Talk about a little bit of superlatives and getting to know a little bit maybe more about your teammates and their personalities. But who so far is emerging as the team class clown?
Class clown. I don't know. We got some goofballs on this team. Derek Williams is a pretty funny guy, and he's pretty cool about it. He always just has a funny way about going about things, and he kind of gets everyone laughing, and he's a great guy to have in the locker room.
Love that. All right, how about who's a glue guy on the team? Who's holding everything together and just kind of a baseball team guy?
A glue guy? I mean, probably Ogden. Just the way he does everything. Everyone. It's always easier to look at him and see what he's doing because he's doing it the right way. So
absolutely,
he's great for that, and he kind of holds everyone to a standard at practice, and he kind of holds everyone to a standard in everything else, the weight room and just everything we do at practice. So he's always pretty intense, and you always know if you look at him, you're going to know what to do.
Love that. This one's kind of similar, but team leader. Has anyone really emerged you can say yourself as well, because, as a junior, draft eligible junior, you kind of emerge as that kind of guy, and you're the bat to watch in the lineup.
Yeah, we have a couple older guys, me, Sosa, Sheehan, Ogden, Williams, Galvin, Rob Evans, Nick Roberts. So we got a list of older guys who have been here for a while, for either a couple years, or guys who came in and who have had success, and our older guys who just play the game well and do things the right way. So it's easy to kind of look at that group of guys and see what they do.
Love that. All right, how about team nerd? And you can take this any way. If it's academic nerd or geek nerd, it's 2025. It's cool now to be a nerd, so it's not insulting. But
yeah, I would say Siskar is our team nerd.
Yeah. Love that. Hoping he's going to have a breakout season as a sophomore. Excited to see him pitch.
He looks good.
Absolutely good to hear. All right, how about best dressed?
Best dressed. I'm gonna put a freshman. I'm gonna put Milano.
Love that. All right,
freshman. Best dressed.
Love that. All right. If I'm coming down to Miami, besides the milkshakes at the ballpark, what's the local go-to food staple?
Tough question.
Well, and that's it's the most important one for me. I'm actually doing these interviews just to get food recommendations.
Depends on how fancy you want to go. Something that it's pretty good. That's not crazy. I don't know. Tough.
It sounds like you're eating good, man. You're having trouble thinking of something.
I do eat good, but I just eat the same thing pretty much all the time. So
I hear you.
3 chefs, Chipotle, and Pollo Taco.
Yeah.
So I kind of eat the same. I kind of eat the same list of things, so it's hard for me to really
think of something. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. No worries. All right. Toughest pitcher you faced in the conference last year?
Toughest pitcher I faced. Let's see what teams we played. Duden was good. Duden was pretty good.
The good news is that you didn't automatically have someone come to mind that is just.
Well, that's a
good sign.
Yeah. I don't know. When we faced Woolfolk from Virginia, he was pretty good.
Yeah, he had a really he had a really good start. I think it might have been his best start of the year.
Yeah, he was pretty good there. State, probably. Bellini threw really well against us. He was tough, and Jamie is always good too. Yeah. He was always a good pitcher. So.
Love that. All right, how about a game day routine? Do you have any how do you go about your game day? Is there anything suspicions wise? And are you more locked in, or are you kind of a looser guy?
I'm not too suspicious. I try not to be like too locked in, or I try and be more on the chill side. Probably, I try and listen to like pretty calm music before the game. I don't try and get myself riled up or anything. I kind of just like to hang out and laugh in the locker room, and I'm not there with my headphones in, like not talking. I like to be pretty calm and pretty chill, but also ready to go. I mean, I usually wait till like right before we run out for the anthem, especially for home games, and I kind of get some like icy hot or like some spicy cream, and I'll put it on my neck. Kind of gets me awake and going,
Love that.
especially for those midweek games. So I
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of I do that sometimes if I'm not feeling so awake, but I like to be pretty calm for the game, and I don't like to be too riled up. But I definitely do have like a pretty consistent routine, and I like doing things a certain way.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, just based on you eating the same thing, it sounds like you like your routine. So, favorite MLB players to watch or emulate?
I like Judge is obviously great at that. What he does is special. Nolan and Chapman and Bregman, those guys are great, and they're great for me to watch at third base and see how they play differently and how like different things work, and kind of finding like what works for you and how you want to play, whether lower to the ground or kind of a higher, more one-handed, more two-handed. So I like watching those guys and see how they do things too.
Awesome. Last one I got for you. Favorite ACC ballpark besides your own?
Probably Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it's a nice one to if you're a slugger, right?
Yeah, especially for me, like the backside is pretty short there, so
Yeah.
pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm always just like I was just there this past Friday, and I'm always the skyline, the city right there
It's
is
pretty
also
good. Yeah,
like
that's
it's
a
pretty
cool thing.
awesome too.
It's pretty easy to see the ball, and it's pretty hitter friendly. So I like that part. I wish it was
Absolutely,
again this year.
absolutely. Kuvi, thank you so much for joining. Do you have anything else you want to share before we let the audience go?
No, I'm good, but thank
Awesome,
you.
awesome. All right, we'll be back with another interview in a couple days, but until then, go Canes.